Good morning, everyone. Welcome back. Thank you for joining us. We're glad that you're here. I'm Steve.
And I'm Scott.
And together we are Backyard Musings, the Science and Technology Channel.
Yeah, and Steve is in Michigan, and I am not. So here we go.
It's like 18 degrees.
Yeah, and it's going to be 98 today. Or no, where I'm going is going to be 98. It's going to be about 90 here today. It was 90 yesterday. It was just blazing hot for March. This is crazy. So, but anyway, all you global warming people.
Okay, here we go. Standard famine mortality thresholds may miss early warning signs of starvation, prompting calls for more context-sensitive measures. Recent humanitarian emergencies have highlighted weaknesses in the single mortality benchmark used worldwide to declare famine. Critics say relying on one universal death rate can mask how starvation develops in different populations. Would you like to know more?
In a paper published in The Lancet, researchers from Columbia University Mailman School of Public Health and their colleagues, that's Mail as an M-A-I-L-M-A-N, argued that the way famine thresholds are set needs a thorough reassessment. Quote, mortality thresholds used by the Integrated Food Security Phase Classification, or IPC, were developed for rural African settings, not middle-income urban populations. And that's according to L.H. Loomy, M.D., Ph.D., Columbia Mailman School Professor of Epidemiology. Quote again, there are stark disparities in how famine mortality is assessed across the contexts.
So what is a skin doctor doing messing around with starvation, famine?
I don't know. Maybe it shows up in your skin first, like when you're dehydrated or something like that. I don't know.
According to Loomy and his co-authors, severe food crises can persist without being formally classified as famine because they failed to meet the IPC's Phase 5 standard of 2 deaths per 10,000 people per day. This means that large-scale starvation may not trigger an official declaration until it's already far advanced.
So that doesn't sound like too many, right? 2 deaths per 10,000 per day, though. That starts to that starts to add up a little bit. The researchers also point out that the IPC emphasizes overall mortality rates while overlooking steep relative increases in specific groups, particularly young children. Historical data from the Dutch hunger winter, which Loomy has studied extensively, demonstrate that the problem. I've never heard of that Dutch. That must have been a bad winter.
Huh. During that famine, birth weights fell and the number of births declined, followed by a sharp increase in child deaths. So if the births decline, then the parents are not having nookie, which means they're not happy. So I don't know.
Or they're not having children when they are.
Yeah. So. In major cities, infant mortality in March 1945 reached 4 times its pre-war level, and mortality among children ages 1 to 4 rose 7-fold. Yet, as Loomy noted, these dramatic increases would not meet the current IPC famine threshold for children under 5.
Another concern is timing. Mortality reflects damage that has already occurred, making it a delayed signal of crisis. By the time death rates cross an official threshold, many deaths could have been prevented, have already happened. In addition, famine classification can become entangled in politics, especially when access to accurate mortality data is limited or controlled.
Okay, quote, identifying earlier indicators of famine stress could shorten the time between acute food insecurity and rising mortality, Loomy said. Continuing the quote, a more sensitive and context-specific approach would support faster humanitarian action. So what is that context-specific? I mean, how do you, like, your crops fail? Or, how would you measure that in order to get food from other places?
And then
that seems wrong.
And they talked about Africa, right? Doing some of the study in Africa, I think, right? At the beginning.
Yeah.
And again, we're so blessed here, but that country or that continent, and then the countries within that continent are they're run by, tribes and all kinds of, weird people that keep food from people, and they get donations and they don't give them to, they don't hand the donations out. They sell them on the black market or whatever. So
It's like sub-Saharan. If you go above the Sahara, like Egypt and Tripoli and Morocco, those nations are fine. It's just sub-Sahara,
yeah,
excluding South Africa. That
right.
you
Yeah.
know,
So,
run by Dutch.
and we don't really, I mean, that kind of stuff is not in the news every day. So people
Right.
just kind of, they build up immunity to it. So, but
Well,
it's
the
happening.
Hodge twins, they got a channel too. They always talk about sub-Saharan, issues. That's pretty
And I
funny.
haven't watched them for a long time.
They're totally funny, man. The way they crack up each other.
They're and they always have got some really cool topics. I mean, not cool, but interesting topics to talk about.
Interesting,
So, but
all right, folks, thanks for joining us in this 18-degree weather.
and then 90-degree weather. We'll see you this afternoon.